3 minutes. If not, 1 minute. So they have made it out. I have my obituary for my kids' friend. I would like to pass that around. And I also have several pictures I would like to pass around too. Now these pictures that I'm passing around, I have pictures of my kids in their casket. I have an open casket for them. I thought of what Emmett Till mom did. She had an open casket for her son to let them know what they did to her son. I had an open casket so people could see the outcome of what house fires are doing to people, what they're doing to children. What a lot of us don't know is you know that blacks die 1 to 10 more than white house fires. We live in poor communities. We don't have the funding that most white communities have. And our housing is not equal. Let's just be honest. So that means we have to take an extra step, just like we have to push extra harder at work to save our kids and to save our own lives. Now, the fire department probably went over a lot of different safety regulations and different things like that that you could do. The one thing I was told from the fire department of Jonesboro, a lot of people put their smoke detectors either too close to the kitchen or too close to the bathroom. So when the steam come out, it starts going off. Yeah. Like most people, they get tired of that beeping noise, so they take the battery out.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's the point of having a gun if they ain't got no bullets in it?
Yeah, yeah.
It ain't helping you out. So it's the same precaution. So you have to put them in a nice location, somewhere in the hallway. If not too far from the kitchen, but somewhere where you can cook and the smoke don't just make it go off. Right. And then somewhere near to the bathroom, to the back of the house, so the steam from the shower or the steam period don't sense it off.
Right, right.
And that's why they tell you also get carbon dioxide. The first thing that kills you is the smoke. The smoke will knock you down. The smoke will kill you. All the fire doing is Perkins already dead.
Right.
All right? I need y'all to know this. There's pictures of my kids. My son was burned. He had 30-degree burns from here to here on both sides. From here to here down. His face is burnt up. His eyebrows was almost still there. His eyelashes was still. But the first layer of his skin was gone. Now, like I said, my son was 4 days away from turning 3. And all I could think about 2 weeks prior to that is what I'm gonna do for my son's 3rd birthday. Just like any other parent would be planning. Is what can they do for their kid's birthday? What can I get them? And what I'm gonna do for them? Not knowing that February the 14th they went to go visit their mother house for Valentine's Day. And I never saw neither one of them do. As older people get older, we have to teach the middle age that they are really in that middle gap of being caregivers, because they got to help the old and they got to help out the ones underneath. So that's another thing you want to press. As I walked in this church, I noticed one thing. I didn't see a smoke detector in the sanctuary. I worked at the hospital that they built in Jonesboro, Arkansas. We put a smoke detector up every 30 feet. That's regulated. And then it's hardwired back to the panel, because that battery can go out. But if it's wired back, then you know that electricity is keeping power. You know that electricity is going to have some power to it. The battery is considered backup, not a primary. And that's another thing. When the fire department does come out, normally the fire department will also replace the batteries every 6 months. And that's another thing people need to do, is test them every 3 to 6 months. And the reason why I say that is because every quarter, just like we do our house cleaning, we should test our smoke detector. To me, that's no different than waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth and washing your face. You should make sure your house is secure when you leave, and also make sure it's secure while you're there. Not just when you're gone out of town, or when you're going to visit somebody, but while you're there. It's very important. Like I said, I lost 3 kids and a mother to a house fire. This is not easy. A lot of y'all today have something I'll never have again. When I see these little kids walking up here winning toys and prizes, my son would be turning 5. Man. He could have been one of them kids walking up here winning a prize to take home from the Chevy. He could have been that one, but he's not. You know, it made me closer to God by losing my kids, and I hate it had to happen that way. But ain't nothing in my plan, everything in the God's plan. So it took for me to go through something as gruesome and as heartache as that to bring me closer to my Father. And I thank Him for it. That's the hardest thing ever, to thank somebody when you feel like, to thank them while it hurt is a lot different than thanking while you're winning something. To thank them while it hurts is a lot different than thanking because you got the job, or because you got this new car, because you got a loan, or because you got a house. See, that ain't true faith. True faith is when it's down and out, and you don't got nowhere else to turn, and you still looking up, you still thanking. And that's when you can thank Him no matter what. A lot of people can thank you when you let them borrow some money. How many people don't thank you when you tell them, no, can I have something? They look at you like you did them wrong. You know what I mean? And God is the same way, because we created His image. So the same way we'll get an attitude, remember, that's what grace is. Grace ain't nothing but a pass until He gets fed up. That's what a form of grace is. You know, it's allowing you to. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and she's a preacher. So it's a lot of stuff that she does that irritates me, because I want her to already be here. But she's still here. You know what I mean? But I want her here. And in the same sense, with our Christian faith and our Christian walk in this walk of life, God knows what you can be. You're just waiting. You're taking your time. You're trying to get there. Your day is not promised. So you got to take advantage of every day and every moment as if it's your last. When you see your kids, hug them. Ain't nothing wrong with telling them that you love them.
Say that.
Because they're not promised tomorrow. My kids been gone 2 years in February. The one thing that I thank God for, I'm wise enough to know it will be like that forever. So I know I won't be going crazy thinking that something's going to change. That's insane. And I thank God for keeping a sound mind. A lot of people would have never bounced back from this mentally. And for me to stand here in front of y'all today, it's God. Ain't no other way. When people ask me how strong you are and how you able to do this, man, this is my first time speaking. And before I start speaking, I pray to God. Because I want God to know. Now, there's some things you're going to go through in your life that ain't going to make it easy. It's going to question whether or not there is a God. It's going to question or not, do you deserve this, or why was it you? And that's why I started my nonprofit, naming it Why Not Me? Because it meant more to me than ask. Everybody want to ask, why me? How many people really want to know why not them? You know, Jesus could have asked, why me? But He said, no. Jesus was, and this is a little off the subject, but to me, Jesus was like Superman, because He was so cold to me, because He knew that Satan was trying to tempt Him, even through his friend Peter. And He told him, no, go. You know what I'm saying? He talking to the devil. He wasn't talking to Peter. He was talking to the spirit that came out of Peter. So that's different than talking to the man. That's why they say you don't hate the drug addict. You don't hate the person that's the drug addict. You hate the drug that he's addicted to. Because the person is no human than you. You might have a different addiction than anybody else. Yours might not just be dope. Yours might be something else. Right. So you can't blame somebody else for something else just because you didn't choose that path that they chose. You still got your own problem to deal with in life. So you got to take heed to what you're learning every day. And I really would like for these kids to push and learn more about smoke detectors. And really, it's up to us as the adults to teach them. This fire department, being honest, they wouldn't have came here if y'all didn't ask them, and they probably wouldn't have came here if the house didn't burn down. Let's just be honest. So this is something we got to teach ourselves in our own community, because we're dying 1 to every 10. We live in projects. They live in condos. They have backdoor access. We don't. we automatically put in a trap situation, so we got to think twice as hard. That's why they tell you plan ahead for a smoke fire. That's why they tell you make sure you got a way out. Because in that split second, you know, like I know, if you at the movie theater with your wife and a fire break out, your woman gonna look at you because you protecting her. Now, if she was there by herself, she probably would have figured out a way out, but she gonna look to her man first. So as us being men in this church, we got to make sure we take the first proper step in making sure that we do teach our wives the proper way in case you're not home where you want them to be at. I didn't have that opportunity. Learn from my mistakes. I didn't have the opportunity to get my kids out of time. And it's not a day that don't go by where I don't think, what if? What if I was there? What if I didn't go to work that day and call me? Would I have been there? Would I die with him? As a man, it makes your pride weaken when you feel like you can't say something that you feel is yours, especially your family. It makes you feel weak. It makes you feel vulnerable. But it also can build you up and make you stronger. You can let it take you under, and you can take over. But you can't take over unless you got God with you. So I know the kids got a shut in. I brought some suckers that the Jonesboro Fire Department had kind of gave me. I brought some more pamphlets and information and things like that to also pass out. I didn't know the fire department had anything. I didn't know if they would be here. Like I said, I don't think they would be here if it wasn't fire within the last week or two, and if nobody didn't ask me. I was told and asked. It's hard for me to deal with it, but at the same time, I look at it like, just like Jesus sacrificed his life for the greater good of mankind, what if I was supposed to lose my kid to help save one of these little kids? Amen. So maybe I lost 3 to save 300. And even if I only saved 1, is it worth it? Question you got to ask yourself when you are dealt with it. But like I said, I would like for y'all to take this fire caution very seriously. I'm an electrician. I will help you mount these fires if you need help. You know what I mean? If they're just battery backup, I will help you mount them. If y'all would like me to, I will help y'all mount y'all at your house. I will come with a drill. The fire department told you they would try to set up when they can come out here. I'm telling you, she has my number to call my mom. She can contact me. I will come out here on the weekends and I will help install it. But I want to pass the pictures around. I would like for people to really take heed to these pictures. These are pictures of my kids when they're smiling. These are pictures of my kids when they're in the casket. I don't want you to just see the bad side. I want you to see what the good came from too. I got remarried. That's my wife. I'm expecting one in January. God has shown me he's a restorer. Now, I'm still working on the healing. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's not an easy wound to cover. It's like I've been shot in the head 3 times. I didn't even want to remember. And I'll be honest with you. I told my wife this. I hate it sometimes. Most of the time, I try not to think about my kids because I have to move on. And it's hard moving on when you keep that in your mind. And it's not a bad thing, but that's just the way I do. Some of y'all may do it a different way. Some of y'all probably couldn't do it at all. But people say, it's a cliche, but it's so true. You never know how strong you is until your back is against the wall. And then another thing, you're only as strong as God allows you to be. You can't get no more strength than he wants you to have. If he wants you to be weak, you're going to be weak. Leave me. So I cried, I mourned, I've been through it. I heard a lady out here, my mom told me about it, wait a couple of days because she didn't know how I would react to hearing a story about another woman dying in a house fire. And it could have been prevented with no smoke detectors. That is almost as good as having a gun with no bullets, or just as good as waking up and not brushing your face and washing your teeth and going to work. You and everybody else face smiling, and your breath and your face look messed up. So, please put some smoke detectors in your house. Please let's make that ratio start climbing back even. Because right now we're dying too easy.
Yes, sir.
And it's not just Trayvon Martin. it's a whole bunch of other ways we're dying out here. All right. So that's all I really have to say.